The Chicago Bulls have apparently made their last and final offer to Josh Giddey. Will he take it? Or with Cam Thomas taking the qualifying offer, could that be a path for Josh Giddey? We're going to talk about it all and more right after this.
You are now tuned in to Chicago Bulls Central, hosted by Hayes, your number one spot for all things Chicago Bulls.
What's going on, Bulls fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bulls Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Bulls related. I'm the host there, Hayes, but more importantly, you guys can follow the channel at Bulls Central Pod on every social media platform we happen to be on. With that said, let's go ahead and get into this content for today, y'all. And KC Johnson, just a little while ago, about an hour ago, tweeted this. Just under a month ago before the deadline for Josh Giddey and the $11.1 million qualifying offer, the summary from 2 weeks ago still stands. The great Bobby Marks said today there's a 4-year, $88 million offer, which is consistent with the number I've been saying this offseason. So it seems like the Chicago Bulls, reportedly, we heard that it was a 4-year, $80 million offer. We at one point heard that it could go up to 4 years, $96 or $92 million. Seems like that's not on the table. And it seems like now the Chicago Bulls have firmly put their planted their flag in a 4-year, $88 million contract offer for Josh Giddey. And this is a little bit more than the initial $20 million ask. It's still much less than $30 million that Josh Giddey was reportedly looking for in restricted free agency. But this is now the Bulls actually making an offer that is coming off. Well, we've heard that the Bulls have not moved off their $20 million evaluation. Josh Giddey had moved off his $30 million evaluation. It seems like the Bulls now have acquiesced at least a little bit and basically added $8 more million over the course of the 4 years. So $2 million more per year for Josh Giddey. Now, Josh Giddey and his agency are probably going to make a counter offer. That's probably going to be expected. But with Cam Thomas signing the qualifying offer today, it may light a fire under the Bulls and Josh Giddey to get this done. I always said that one of these free agents was going to be the first domino to fall, and when they were, it could set the tone. And if Cam Thomas and then Jonathan Kuminga as well both take the qualifying offer, the Bulls really do want to avoid that. And so to avoid that, it could very well be that this was the Bulls' last-ditch effort to get this done without having to worry or risk losing Josh Giddey for nothing at all. So, we'll see if Josh Giddey ends up taking this offer. From what we've heard has been released, there's nothing on it yet to say how Josh Giddey feels about this offer. He may still be sitting down talking to his agency and feeling what he's going to have, but we'll see what happens here. It is the Bulls making a different offer than just the $20 million and coming off that at least a little bit. Let's see how you guys are feeling about this one. T Bird says he should take that. If I'm Josh Giddey, and this is just, again, if I'm Josh Giddey, I'm trying to see if I can get them to go to 24. And that's what I do. I think, yeah, of course, 25 is between 20 and 30, but if you can get the Bulls to come down to about 24 million, I think that to me is about as in between as you're going to get. Now, if I'm Josh Giddey as well, even if the 24 million isn't outright, I'll say, okay, what can we do for incentives? Like, now that the Bulls have made this $22 million a year offer, can we put in any incentives that can get me to 24 to 25? And I think that's fair. And I think that would be fair. Like, from what we've heard, we don't know if incentives have been a big part of these negotiations or anything like that. So I can't really speak to that if that's the case. But, if this does end up being where Josh Giddey is, can get some incentives in that contract, that could be the best of both worlds. The Bulls give him a $22 million contract at least as a base. If he hits certain incentives, maybe you can get it up to 24 to 25. That's what I would be looking at if I'm Josh Giddey. But again, with the Bulls having the leverage that they do have, who's to say that can necessarily be the case? Me says, hardest working man in Chicago, back at it again. Appreciate that. Jerry also says, take it. Cool. That's not a bad deal for real. Okay, all right. I'm glad that people are feeling that. You better lock him in, man. I think that as well. You definitely want to lock Josh Giddey. I know there's some Bulls fans that think, let Josh Giddey walk, all that type of thing. I'm not there, but, it is what it is. I don't think Josh Giddey should walk. Cameron says, you the GOAT. I'm not. I'm just a kid that loves his team, bro. That's all it is. I would take it, but I don't know if he would. I mean, and that's fair. That's why I think if the $22 million is the base, If you can get incentives added to that, I think that's the best of both worlds. I mean, that's probably the best offer that you're going to get. Now, I don't know if that's a likely case, but get some realistic incentives. Maybe not easy incentives to hit, but get some realistic incentives in there. Like, for example, if Josh Giddey plays all 82, or if Josh Giddey leads the league in assists for 2 years, something like get some legitimate incentives in there. Yo, what's good, bro? Let's go to meet. Glad to see you, bro. It's been a while since I've seen you around, bro. Glad to see you in here, man. He will probably take 3 years, $66 million. I don't know if that's still the same. You may want that long-term security. 1 extra year of a guaranteed $22 million where you could get hurt or something. I don't know. Maybe making an option, maybe a player option. So that way it could be 3 years. Maybe, we'll see. He should take it. Okay, a lot of he should take it and run Giddy. Okay, you know what? Matter of fact, this is something I'm trying to do more and more often, and I have not been good at, is I can put a live poll in here and let you guys vote on it, and we can see by the end of the stream how you guys feeling on it. So give me 1 second. Let me just get this poll up. I'm still working on it. This is why I need a producer on the back end of things. But hey, let's see. Should Josh Giddey take the 4-year, $88 million offer? If I can spell offer right. All right, there we go. Just put the poll in there. Y'all go ahead and vote on that. I want to see how you guys are feeling on that one. Jay says, that's actually not at all. Take that with the player option on the last year. I guess you meant not bad at all. And listen, a lot of people may agree with you on that one. I don't know if Josh is taking anything less than 24. And see, that's why I think that Flockavilli, like getting that incentives to get to 24, I think could be a thing there. Again, this is just hypothetical, of course, for me. We'll see how this goes. I like to get Giddy back on that deal, but Giddy got right to the test of free agency as well. Hope both parties come to a mutual and beneficial deal for both parties. Agree with you there. Agree with you. Does it have any player team options? I would assume that they'd give Giddy a player option considering the offer is $22 million AAV. Well, it doesn't say. So via Bobby Marks, it doesn't say anything about if there's a player option or not. So there you go. If the Bulls want a discount deal, 4 years won't work. Why don't you think that? Well, elaborate a little bit on that one. I just love to hear what you said there. I know these aren't exactly related and players shouldn't necessarily compare contracts, but offering less than P. Will's contract at this stage is still a low ball offer. It's not less than P. Will's contract. It's actually more. It just has a 1 less year, but he'd be getting paid $3 million a year more than P. Will. So you like when you think about contracts, don't think about the total number. Yeah, P. Will got $90 million, but he got 5 years. So if you're getting $88 million over 4, you're getting paid more. So there you go. Now, I don't think players are looking at the overall number. They're looking at what they're making per year. I agree with you, Hayes. 24 would be the best offer for both parties. I think that's a fair thing there. 26 million or less is a bargain, so nickel and diming him sets another bad precedent. Listen, it only sets a bad precedent if Josh Giddey throws a huge fuss on it afterwards. I'm sorry, it doesn't. Like negotiating and taking advantage of the market doesn't. If Josh Giddey signs this 4-year deal and he's here, he loves being a Bull, nobody's going to, there's not going to be people like, damn, Josh Giddey looks happy there, but he shouldn't be. Like maybe initially, but like if Josh Giddey comes in and he's playing well and he's thriving here and like it doesn't seem like a thing that's caused a rift between him and the team, I don't think anybody's going to be looking at it like, damn, how'd you pay him a little bit less? They're going to say, well, damn, the Bulls got him at less. Just like look at what Coby and Io are on. I agree with you. I think Josh should counteroffer with 24 per year or add some incentives to that offer. A perfect incentive is to make year 4 a player option. But that's not really an incentive. That's just making it an option. But I do think that's definitely something that they can go with and saying, all right, bet if we're going to take less, let's get a player option in that 4th year. If we prove ourselves over the next 3 years, we want to renegotiate. And that's not necessarily a bad thing either there. So not mad at that one. Incentives still count towards the cap tax, right? So when the deal is reported, it would still show the higher amount. No. So incentives, so for example, it's going to be what the contract is. Now, if he hits his incentives, then yeah, it's gonna take a larger part of the cap. But because it's something that could never come to pass, it's not gonna. So let's say that it's $22 million with a $25 million incentive. Unless he hits the incentive, it's not going to count against the cap. So I agree, Josh. Try to get a little bit more, but they obviously want to be together. So at this point, it's like a relationship. If they want to run be together, then they'll find a way to make it work. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. It's more pressure on Bulls to me because if he takes the qualifying offer, and they will still need him because of how he helps to facilitate, especially with so many expiring contracts. Not necessarily, Deuce. I'm not saying that your thought process on that is wrong, but let me offer a counter thought to it, right? Is that if players that take the qualifying offer never go back to the team that they play on the qualifying offer for. So if Josh Giddey takes the qualifying offer, they don't have any incentive to do anything. Like, I'm not saying that Josh Giddey's easily replaceable, but at that point, they could prioritize other players. So not to say that they won't play Josh Giddey at all, but maybe they want to see what Ayo can do in crunch time, and if it comes down to it, they'll do something like that. Maybe they'll run more playmaking opportunities to see if Modest. Them having so many players as expirings works both for and against them, because having so many expiring contracts offers you a chance to make a huge pivot with your entire roster. So, for example, and that was going to be the next topic that we go into. For example, like if Cam Thomas walks, if Coby White walks next year, now that Cam Thomas is going to be signing the qualifying offer, the Bulls can make an offer and get him in here, right? So, like, you have an opportunity to pivot everything and completely restructure your roster. Maybe you're doing it around Modest at that point in time. So, I get what you're saying, and I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying that there's another perspective to have on that too that the Bulls could take. I'm not saying which one is right or wrong to take, but I'm just saying that is another perspective they definitely could take in that also. So there you go on that one. Wouldn't that be Josh Giddey's highest contract offer? Why not? Yeah, it definitely would be his highest contract offer. I mean, he was on a rookie scale deal, so technically he's never been offered a contract. You get drafted, and that's your contract. But with that said, that gets us into the next topic that I did want to talk about, is that with Cam Thomas taking the qualifying offer, and I want to be clear here, in no way am I saying that Cam Thomas does everything that Coby White does. He doesn't. He's not the rebounder. He's not even the passer that Coby White is. But if Coby White does walk in the offseason, do not be surprised if the Bulls pivot to Cam Thomas. And the reason why I say that is Cam Thomas is actually a better catch and shoot player than Coby White. And he needs the ball less than Coby White. Again, I'm not saying that Cam Thomas is better than Coby White. I think Coby White's a better player. But if Coby White plays hardball, or if he does go out and get a contract offer from a team that you may not feel like comfortable matching, I don't think Cam Thomas is probably going to get more than $20-25 million as an unrestricted free agent, and that's if he has another season. It'll be his third straight year. If this upcoming season he averages over 20 points per game. So I think that the Bulls now have a little bit of leverage. Now, again, Cam Thomas isn't Coby White. I wouldn't even make that case, but you don't necessarily. The Bulls, for example, replaced Ben Gordon with John Salmons, and he was here for 2 years and actually played pretty damn good in the way that the Bulls needed him to play. So I think Cam Thomas could be a fit with. If you switch, for example, and Modest is going to start doing more playmaking for you, a player like Cam Thomas could make sense for the Bulls. And so now that the summer of 26 pops up, the Bulls between Ayo and Cam, they could let Coby walk, or they could not match an offer from Coby. Now, I've been on record. It has not changed. I want to see Coby White back in the Chicago Bulls uniform. I'm just looking at options here. And with the Bulls having the most cap space in the league next season, a guy like Cam Thomas, unless a championship team comes calling, or Anthony Simons for that matter, if he hits unrestricted free agency, I just think that that's a case that the Bulls have a little bit more flexibility and now things at their disposal. Amit says, if we sign Coby, Ayo has to go. No, not at all. You can very well keep both of them. I think at this point now we've seen that Ayo can play the 2 or the 3, and he could be a bench player for you. So I think that that's a thing. How can we get Vooch contract off our books? Vooch is an unrestricted free agent at the end of the year. So technically his contract is off the books at the end of the season anyway. So there you go on that one. Man, let him go. He already tried the market, and there's no team that was willing. See, no, that's wrong. See, y'all, when y'all say these things, I need y'all to speak from a place of education. First of all, he never tried the market because he's a restricted free agent. And restricted free agency and unrestricted free agency are very different things. We already knew that the market was not going to be there for restricted free agents going into this season. So, A, that's where you're wrong at first. He has not tried the market because the market wasn't there for any of the restricted free agents. Unrestricted free agency is different. That's the thing. Secondly, trade him and get some picks and keep rolling with the rooks. That's stupid as well. He's 22 years old, and you can't trade him with him not having a contract. You can't. Now, you can do a sign and trade, but there's teams that don't have the money. If he takes the qualifying offer, you can't trade him. I'm just saying. Vooch is 100%. No, I disagree with that. I actually think there's a high probability. Me and Pat actually talked about this over on Locked On Bulls today. I think it's more likely than not Vooch is back. And there's a couple of reasons why. A, they don't have a starting caliber center on their roster yet. B, Vooch is not a bad player. He's bad defensively, but they knew he was bad defensively when they traded for him and gave up 2 first-round picks to get him. Secondly, I do think that, if they're going to try to move him, if they don't, they could do exactly what they did with Lonzo Ball, and that's extend him after the trade deadline if there's no market there and then hope to move him in the offseason. I don't think it's 100% that Vooch is gone this offseason personally. I think that there's a world in which Vooch is back and maybe even finishes his career with the Chicago Bulls. That's just my thought process on it. Gotcha, Hayes, because a lot of people keep saying that if we sign Coby, Iowa's gone, and I'm like, no, he's not. Yeah, no. That's people thinking that it has to be between one or the other, and it doesn't really have to. Maurice is way too late. No, it's not. You can do a sign and trade at any point in time. A sign and trade is a sign and trade. Keep in mind, it's a sign and trade. So as long as you have the matching salary to do that, the Bulls can always sign. The Bulls are the one that's signing Josh Giddey, and then they're trading him. As long as the team has the matching salary, you can always do a sign and trade. You can always do that. Get him, Hayes, been missing these cooks. I'm not even cooking. I'm not cooking. We're not cooking. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. I told y'all I'm involved. We're not cooking nobody today. Giddy should take an 88 offer because I don't think he's going to get a championship team no time soon. And the Bulls is what does a championship? Freddie, please tell me. And I'm asking. I'm legitimately. What does a championship team have to do with this? I legitimately want to know why a championship team came in here because I don't know what a championship team has to do with that. But championship team no time soon. The Bulls as close as he will get. So improve and dominate and grow to a championship team. Okay, see, this is why I'm the idiot. See, I can roast myself too. Finish reading the whole comment, Hayes. Yeah, my bad, Freddie. I see what you're saying. You're saying that he's not going to go to a championship team, so the Bulls are close. I don't think that the players necessarily look at it like that. He's going to be on a building block anyway, and the Bulls aren't anywhere close to a championship team. So even if he did go to another team, I don't think that right now championships are the look on it. You're thinking about your value and your role more than championships. At least that's my opinion on it. Could be wrong on that one. Do you think the low ball offers for Giddy are AK decision, or is this coming? Ownership does not care. I tell y'all right now, ownership doesn't give a shit about what the contract value is. The only thing ownership cares about is that if you're going over the luxury tax, which we're not. So this is an AK thing. Jerry Reinsdorf probably doesn't even understand how contracts work anymore. Well, I feel like if we make a deep run, there's no need to trade Vooch because he's better than most centers. And, people don't like to hear that. People don't like to, offensively specifically, offensively. The incentives should be all-star, make the playoffs, top 5 in the league, and assist. We'll see. The only thing, and Damon, that's a good amount of incentives. The only thing with making the playoffs is if you put that in your contract, what if he's not a part of making the playoffs? Like, what if he gets hurt early in the season? Like, and I hope, knock on wood, I don't want that to happen. But like, let's say Josh Giddey gets hurt and misses 70 games in the season. But the incentives is if the team makes the playoffs. Well, now let's say the team somehow made the playoffs. You don't know how much Josh Giddey played into that. Now you got to pay him an extra $3 million. So I don't know if that's going to be, and I don't know how intricate you can get with writing the incentives. Can you get, if we make the playoffs and you play X amount of minutes in the playoffs? I don't know. Again, I'm not an agent. I don't know with that shit. So there you go on that one. Let's do a Kawhi Leonard deal on our players, but we need a billionaire. You see, and that's the thing. Reinsdorf is a millionaire, not a bill. Well, no, Jerry may be close to a billionaire at this point. But all right, we're about to end the show. Let's get into this poll. So I asked, should Josh Giddey take the 4-year, $88 million contract offer? 80% of you guys said yes. 20% of you guys said no. There was 110 votes on that. Fair. I think generally from what this chat in this comment section, it feels like most Bulls fans feels like the $88 million offer is fair. So there you go on that one. Most of them feel it's fair. So there you go. But that is my time for today. I thank you guys for this, man. Middle of the day live stream. I wanted to bring this to you guys. Make sure you guys are following us at Bull Central Pod. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns. BullCentralPod@gmail.com. Lastly, if you want to take leave a voicemail and or a text message and or voicemail for the mailbag, the number to do so, 773-270-2799. We are the number one spot for everything Chicago Bulls related, but that is thanks to you, lovely and beautiful people. And like I like to end every episode on, go Bulls. Love you guys. See you right if you can, y'all. Peace.